Hey everyone. We need to talk about something serious that most men ignore until it's too late: untreated male infertility. Here's the thing: male infertility isn't just about not being able to have kids. It's a red flag that something deeper is going on in your body. And when you ignore it, the consequences go way beyond reproduction. Today, I'm breaking down the real complications of untreated male infertility, the stuff nobody talks about. We're covering emotional health, physical diseases, relationship breakdowns, and even life expectancy. If you or someone you know is dealing with fertility issues, this video could literally be life-changing. Let's get into it. Why men ignore the problem. First, let's talk about why this is such a hidden problem. Male infertility rarely causes pain. There are no visible symptoms. You can't see it, you can't feel it, so it's easy to pretend it doesn't exist. Many men assume it's temporary or blame their partner instead of getting checked. But here's the reality. Globally, about 1 in 6 couples struggle with infertility, and male factors contribute to nearly half of these cases. That's right, 50%. Yet medical conversations still focus mostly on women, leaving men underevaluated and undertreated. And then there's the stigma. In many cultures, fertility is tied to masculinity, strength, and social status. Men who face fertility issues are sometimes labeled as weak or less than. This toxic narrative keeps men from seeking help. The emotional and psychological toll. Let's start with the invisible damage, the psychological impact. For many men, fertility is deeply tied to their identity and sense of purpose. When conception doesn't happen, feelings of inadequacy, guilt, and failure can develop rapidly. Over time, these feelings turn into chronic stress, anxiety, and depression. Research shows that men struggling with infertility experience psychological distress comparable to those diagnosed with major chronic illnesses. Think about that for a second. The stress is that intense. And here's the cruel irony: stress itself suppresses sperm production. Cortisol, your stress hormone, literally shuts down your reproductive system. So, stress worsens infertility, which creates more stress. It's a vicious cycle. The emotional burden is real, it's severe, and it compounds over time if left unaddressed. Relationship breakdown. Untreated infertility doesn't just affect you. It becomes a shared crisis between partners. Emotional distance grows as each person copes differently. Some men withdraw out of shame or guilt, and their partners interpret this as disinterest or rejection. Communication breaks down. Intimacy suffers. Couples start arguing about testing, timing of intercourse, and medical appointments. In cultures where family elders pressure for grandchildren, the tension intensifies. Some couples begin avoiding social events entirely, feeling embarrassed when asked about kids. In extreme cases, prolonged untreated infertility leads to separation or divorce, especially in environments where blame is culturally directed at one partner. But here's the thing: couples who approach infertility as a shared medical condition rather than a personal flaw cope much better. They find solutions together. Hormonal imbalances and physical deterioration. Now let's talk about what's happening inside your body. Male fertility depends on the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, basically your brain and testicles working in harmony. When this system malfunctions, testosterone levels drop. Low testosterone doesn't just affect fertility, it causes chronic fatigue and low energy, loss of muscle mass, increased abdominal fat, decreased sexual desire, mood swings and irritability, poor concentration, and brain fog. Over time, this can progress to metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, abnormal cholesterol, and insulin resistance. Testosterone also maintains bone density. Prolonged deficiency leads to osteopenia and eventually osteoporosis. Yes, men get brittle bones too. You might experience frequent back pain, loss of height, or fractures from minor falls. The cancer connection. Here's something that should get everyone's attention. Untreated male infertility is linked to a higher risk of testicular cancer. Multiple studies show that men with poor sperm quality or complete absence of sperm have a significantly elevated cancer risk compared to fertile men. Infertility can also be the first visible sign of other serious conditions. Pituitary tumors that suppress hormone production, genetic conditions like Klinefelter syndrome, chronic infections that permanently damage reproductive structures. Ignoring infertility means potentially missing early warning signs of life-threatening diseases. Routine evaluation by a urologist can identify testicular nodules, atrophy, or hormonal irregularities early, and early detection can be life-saving. Cardiovascular and metabolic risks. Now here's something that surprised even researchers. Male infertility might be a marker for your overall health and lifespan. Large population studies have shown that infertile men have a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes, 1.5 to 2 times higher risk, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, even premature death from all causes. Why? The mechanisms aren't fully understood, but it likely involves low testosterone levels affecting fat distribution and insulin sensitivity, chronic inflammation throughout the body, shared genetic pathways affecting both reproduction and metabolism, oxidative stress and mitochondrial dysfunction. But here's the good news. Treating the underlying causes, whether hormonal, metabolic, or lifestyle-related, can improve not only fertility, but also your overall longevity and quality of life. Fertility treatment becomes an entry point to improving your entire health profile. The time factor. Let's talk about time, because every year of delay matters. Male fertility does decline with age, though more gradually than female fertility. However, sperm DNA fragmentation increases over time, leading to lower pregnancy rates and higher miscarriage risks. But here's the critical point. Even if your fertility stays relatively stable, your partner's doesn't. Female fertility begins declining significantly after 35 and drops sharply after 40. When you delay addressing male infertility, you're wasting valuable years when simple treatments could work for both of you. Later, when natural conception is no longer possible, couples are forced into expensive assisted reproductive technologies like IVF or ICSI. These procedures are emotionally draining, physically demanding, and financially costly. Let's wrap this up with the most important point. Untreated male infertility is not just about not having children. It's a warning signal that something in your body needs attention. It can lead to chronic depression and anxiety, relationship breakdown, hormonal imbalances and metabolic syndrome, higher cancer risk, cardiovascular disease and diabetes, reduced quality of life, and even shorter lifespan. So if you've been putting this off, now is the time. Make that appointment. Start those lifestyle changes. Have that conversation with your partner. Your health, your happiness, and your future family are worth it. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more evidence-based health content. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. What's your biggest takeaway? I read every single one. Visit our website www.bookehealth.com and get free consultation. Thanks for watching, and remember, infertility is a medical condition, not a measure of your worth. Take care of yourself. See you in the next video.